Hey, Bentbrook here. I'm going to do a quick review of the Duraflame Fatwood. This is something that I'm curious about. It's readily available both online and in retailers like Lowe's Hardware. And it's something that if you live in an area where you cannot get fatwood locally, if you can't harvest it on your own, it may be a viable option. So what I'm trying to see tonight is just what do you get for your $4.18, which I think is what I paid for this at Lowe's. We will see. Open the top, there's a little packet of desiccant, and then there's some fatwood. This piece actually has some nice resin, some good color in it. Looks pretty good so far. Yeah, not as much with this piece. So what I'm kind of expecting in this box, and what we will see, is if it has sort of a mix, a range of really nice fatwood and some other that's a little bit more marginal in terms of its resin content. That would be what I would expect from a commercially manufactured or produced, processed anyway, product. Obviously these are all natural. There are no additives to it, as the box says. You don't need any if you have actual fatwood. But what we're going to do here is scrape some of the wood off and see if we can ignite it with a ferro rod. Because of the snow, I'm going to put the shavings on this little paper plate for testing purposes. Through the magic of post-production, I'll speed things up so you don't have to watch every single scraping as I'm going along here. It is burning with that sort of typical intensity that fatwood shavings burn with here. I always find pine is a little bit finicky when it comes to feather sticking, but I'll try to make a few curls here just so you can kind of see how it would work if that was your method of using it. Once I get some curls going here, I will speed up the footage again so you don't have to watch me forever and ever making curls. And then eventually I'll just use this to stick in the flames that are caused by sparking some more of the dust once I scrape it off. As you can see, it's pretty well veined on this particular piece. So this is a better looking piece, and I'm expecting a little bit more of the fire. What's happened is I've poked holes in the bottom of the plate, and now I have some ice mixed in with the fatwood, and I've also wet my ferro rod, so it's going to be a little bit more finicky this time in terms of ignition, basically based on my own sort of inattention during this process. However, as you will see shortly, I did get it lit once I had the proper technique, and it readily ignites the curls that I had on this piece of fatwood here. What you're going to see in just a moment is one of the benefits of fatwood and the intensity with which this sort of resin-rich wood burns. I'm going to dump the curls and out onto the snow itself, and you'll see that they will continue to burn with a fair degree of intensity. So here's the deal with the Duraflame Fatwood. If you look at the box, you end up with about 28 ounces of usable wood in there. All of the pieces here on the bottom are okay, but not really resin rich. The ones in the top left corner have a little bit more resin, but it's only the 4 pieces in the top right that are really saturated, that have that deep, almost translucent color that I would consider really good fatwood. So it's a mixed bag. Here I'm getting a little bit closer for you to 4 of the good pieces of fatwood in this box, and you'll notice that each has deep coloration that's typical of high resin content. When it has a lot of resin in it, the wood becomes almost translucent, as you can see in these close-ups. and it has a deep, deep color that goes beyond sort of the white color that you associate with pine wood. So the bottom line is you do get some good fatwood in a box like this, but a lot of other timber that's not quite the same quality. So you might want to think twice before you buy a box if you can harvest it locally, but if you can't get it locally, this might be better than nothing.